If I told you to imagine a car designed entirely around safety, you'd be thinking one of two things. Either that sounds like the most boring thing of all time, or you're thinking, isn't that just a Volvo? Back in the late 60s, the US government wanted all cars to be more safety focused, and manufacturers hated it. They wanted cars to be fast, luxurious, capable. Making them safe would mean heavier, uglier, and more expensive. And who wants that? Well, as it turns out, consumers. It's why Volvo exists in the first place, and some of the cars they built back then were pretty cool. Look at the P1800, or the 1800 ES. But they were decidedly not American. So, because America, one man set out to make a modern two-seat sports car that would also be the safest in the world. Malcolm Brickland had been importing Subarus into America, saw the rise in safety concerns from the public, and decided to use his fortune to prove the established American car manufacturers wrong, and that sexy and safe was possible. His first stop? Bruce Myers of Myers-Manx fame. Myers built the first functional concept car before moving design responsibilities over to Herb Grass, formerly of Chrysler and Ford. He also helped build the TV Batmobile. AVC Engineering handled the integration of all the safety features. The end result was something that stunned for the early 70s, the Bricklin SV-1. Pop-up headlights, gull-wing doors, and the performance to match a Corvette. But it was way safer than a Corvette. Cooler too. The gull-wing doors were electro-hydraulic, meaning a flick of a switch opened them up. Hop in, flick another switch, and they swing back down. It had a padded dash, which compared to airbags might not sound all that safe, but many cars from that era had metal dashes. It was one of the first cars with seatbelts, and the bumpers were designed to absorb any impact up to 10 miles per hour without any damage to the car. It even had a full roll cage to protect the passengers in an accident. The doors weren't just cool, but because they swung upward instead of out, they didn't stick out into traffic. Unfortunately, the SV-1 was mired in problems. It used composite body panels made of plastic on top of fiberglass, which would warp and twist. Because so much of the car used off-the-shelf parts, Brickland was reliant on other car manufacturers honoring contracts, and that didn't always work out. AMC famously pulled out of a deal to supply engines, with various parts coming from Opel, Nissan, Toyota, Chevy, and eventually an engine from Ford. Production prices got out of hand. Eventually, the government of New Brunswick, Canada, where the car was built, decided to stop funding the project and the SV-1 was relegated to history. In the end, less than 3,000 SV-1s were built, with half of those still existing today. In a time where new cars come with side curtain airbags, automatic braking, and even the promise of fully autonomous cars on the horizon, cars are more boring than ever. Building a safe box that moves you from point A to point B is easy, but boring. All cars look alike now. But back in the 70s, Brickland proved you could be fast, sexy, and safe at the same time.